It's that time, ladies and gentlemen. Why do I need a hair and scalp assessment? Why is it that you need to visit a trichologist? With that and more, ladies and gentlemen, here at the Hair Wire. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Hair Wire, the place where you, my friends, get hair smart. I'm your host, Sergio Cardona, alongside with Carrie Jarrett. Our friend beside us out traveling today, going to Dubai. I wish we were going there, Carrie. I wish we were going there with Biz. I
Oh,
can
I
fit in the
know.
suitcase, a very large one, but
I know. I love it. I'm waiting for her to post pictures so I can live vicariously through her because, to go to Dubai, it'd be amazing.
I know. Everyone should have a chance to go there. Yeah. My friends, we're here today because we want to talk about something very special. Today, we need to talk about why. Why do you need a hair and scalp assessment? Although a lot of people, they feel frightened about the idea that they might get ripped off in the process. And the whole thing is that, first of all, if you're having scalp and hair issues, you need a professional. That's key, period. You need a professional right there on your side, someone who can guide you through the process, through the hurdles, to the pitfalls, to the ups and downs, the valleys, the shallows, everything in between, because, hair loss and hair and scalp issues can be very tricky sometimes. And we need someone who can help us navigate through the process so that we are able to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible. And of course, without spending crazy amounts of money in the process,
Or
because that's,
wasting time.
oh my God, above all, above everything, wasting precious time. Because particularly, as you're mentioning, Kerry, if we have a scalp and hair loss situation, some types of hair loss situations are very time sensitive. Like if you don't take care of that right away, you're going to be losing that hair like forever. So you need
Mhm.
that, to be conscious about how sensitive, how time sensitive scalp issues can be, so that we are able, to be aware of those things and manage them properly.
Yeah.
Because without it, we're going to be losing our hair forever.
Yeah. Yeah. Timing is everything. And it's not just even timing for that, it's also timing that you may lose to have a temporary solution and then realize that this temporary solution didn't end up working for the long haul and you go back and have to restart all over again and correct it. So you also lose time there and could cause more issues. It's like time is of essence when you are struggling with hair loss, and your health depends on it too. Hair is essential biomarker. Basan has talked about this numerous amount of times. If your hair is falling out, it's because there's a health element that's happening that you got to be aware of, and it's kind of God's message saying, something's happening internally. What's going on? Let's correct it. And so you don't want to just do it to save your hair, but also for your health as well, overall health.
Your overall health and everything in between. I mean, we don't think about it as much, how important it is to address our hair loss issues, because sometimes we'd be like, ah, I had it so many times before, it's gonna grow back again. I don't mind, I don't care. Uh-huh. You said that now, but wait until you start seeing bald spots or areas where you're not able to cover your hair back, or you're not able to recover your hair back. That's when it gets scary, right then and there. That becomes very scary, and it becomes scary and a flip. So you need to really understand that taking care of your hair has a direct relationship of, taking care of your health. Sometimes we are experiencing health situations, and the only symptom that we may be experiencing right now may be the hair loss or any scalp situation. And by addressing that situation properly, you might be able to save some of your health in the process. How many people we have seen that, by just using a trichoscope on the scalp, we were able to detect early cancer, you know, early cancer spots. And early detection is all about everything when you're dealing with cancer, right? So definitely, if you're going to the right professionals, someone who understands these signals and can definitely guide you to the proper medical specialist, so that you're able to treat things early. And by treating things early, well, I mean, you're able to keep your health, baby. That that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. Now, there's many things that we need to consider while we are choosing a good trichologist. Now, Kerry, I want to ask you, what are some of the things that as a customer, you see, as a cosmetologist, trichologist, what are some of the things that are are our people worried about when they decide to finally step up and do something about their hair loss and decide to contact someone uh, to deal that for them? What are some of the things that people should consider?
Um, for contacting a trichologist?
Yeah. What should
Um,
I, you know, what are some of the things that I should know about, or what I should be asking about? Or, do I ask about, let's say, qualifications, experience?
yeah, well, when you're looking for a trichologist, you want to make sure you have someone that is very knowledgeable and very educated in the area of trichology, and who um, almost appear up as like an expert in knowing and understand the various types of hair loss. A lot of people don't realize that there's more than one type of hair loss. So they'll go in and go get a hair loss treatment at their doctor or the dermatologist or the hairdresser. But a trichologist dedicates themselves specifically to the various types of hair loss, the different types of alopecias or scalp issues. And the thing is with all these different types of alopecias, there are different treatments and different solutions and different factors that cause these types of hair loss. But usually when you'll go get your hair treatment, you automatically go to a dermatologist or a doctor, is they chalk it up as alopecia and give you one treatment, one solution only.
Yeah.
When honestly, there's more than one type of treatment. And sometimes it's the simplest correction that you need to do that will correct things. And a lot of times we just throw medication at it. We put a band-aid on it and move forward, but it's not always the thing that's going to correct it or fix things. Sometimes it's something as simply changing the pH in your body or on your scalp, or adding meat to your diet or changing your diet. It's those simple things. So rather than spending all this money and using all of this medication, get to the root of the problem. And it's a trichologist who is dedicated to understand the different types of hair loss and where they might stem from. And that will give you real results, long-term results. And the thing is some of these alopecias are temporary. So why are
Yeah.
you going to waste all that money buying all these products and solutions when it's a temporary thing? Or you could even stimulate something long term and bigger. So you go to the person who knows all the facts.
Yeah, definitely. You want to go to someone who is prepared, someone who understands the different hair loss situations, and is able to guide you into the process. Now, as we were saying, you see the different signals, you see what's happening, and you want to treat it, but you want to treat it discreetly, and you don't want to make a big fuss out of it. But it's already, have you concerned so far? I mean, you look at the mirror and you feel bad about it.
Yeah.
So it's already taking a toll on your system. It's already taking a toll on your mental acuity. It's already, stressing you out. So you really want to deal with it. But most people do not know where to go. And they hear about this term trichology. What is trichology? Where does it come from? Is this a fad, or this is something that has been around and it actually can help me? There's a lot of insecurities in the process, and it's completely understandable because unfortunately we see a lot of things in the media, and we see this wave of gurus out there who, they found something that worked for them, and they're preaching about it like it will work for everyone else out there. And now, what's your take on that, Kerry?
It's not a one size fits all world. And just because it works for you doesn't mean it's going to work for me. We are all different chemistry and we all have different needs and different solutions. And so that's why you always see a lot of people getting sued when they have this one product that works and it works for 100 people, but then there's 100 people that it doesn't work for, it can causes hair loss. But it's not meant for them. And that's why you see a lot of these, lawsuits happening, is because they have this one size fits all for everybody, and it's affecting their chemistry or their hormones and doing other different adverse effects. So you really got to understand the body and the chemistry and the hair to really use the product. And you see it every day, even everyday product, dandruff. I'm not going to name the product. We all know which product it is. A lot of times people say they see flaky scalps and all of a sudden they have dandruff, and then they're treating a dry scalp as dandruff and medicating it and then causing actual dandruff. And it's understanding exactly what you have and how to transcribe it and decipher what is going on. And like what you may say, I always use this analogy is like, you have a turquoise cup, but maybe somebody else sees it as teal, or somebody sees it as blue, or somebody sees it as green. It's the trichologist knows how to describe and say, no, this is in fact turquoise, and this is how you're going to fix it. Like it's really understanding what is going on. And I quite commonly see it with dandruff all the time, where people are like, and it's dry scalp, and they start medicating this dry scalp as though they do have dandruff. I'm like, you just need to moisturize your scalp and balance the pH. Let's do that. I actually have a message with a client to be like, you were 100% right, Carrie. All I had to do was this and it's gone. I'm like, well, yeah, you had a dry scalp. Simple fix. You didn't even have to pay for all those fancy medicated shampoos for your dandruff. So yeah.
You mentioned something that appeals to a lot of people, because unfortunately we don't want to get ripped off in the process, and sometimes you go to a professional just to get sold on X program or X product. And sometimes, as you just mentioned, sometimes it's just something simple, yet we are afraid that if it is something simple, that they might sell us onto something that is a lot bigger and make us believe that it's something complicated when it's something very simple. And sometimes when it is very complicated, we would like to believe that it's something very simple. I have to say, I say this a lot. People come to my office and, oh, I have this hair loss. All I need is some minoxidil. So just give me a note, say that it's just minoxidil, what I need, right? And be like, no, you do not need minoxidil. You need to start washing your hair a little bit more frequent. That's all. No. I need this. I need that. I'm like, dude,
no. Yeah, we complicate things so often, and it's just the simplest thing. Like, it's crazy. I have to laugh. Our friend Kim just jumped on Instagram, and ironic, we're talking about scalp. Kim's our scalp guru. We have a lot of peers that are experts in various areas, and I have to say, Kim is the guru when it comes to scalp health. So hi, Kim. Shout out to you.
We love you, Kim.
Hello. Oh, I love how that happens. No, when it comes to hair loss too, and we also like we say this often, we always also go to the worst situation too, where we're like, you see hair loss and you think it's the end of the world, but honestly, it's a biomarker. Your body's just telling you something's going on. Like, you may be dealing with something, mind, body, spirit. It could be stress, which your brain health could affect that. And what happens is when your body is struggling and it's not healthy at that time, it stops producing nutrients or sending nutrients to produce hair and nails. And that's why your hair falls or has breakage. And a lot of people don't realize that. So when you start having that shedding, it's because something on your major organs is happening. Yeah. So mental stress, of course, is a big one. Your brain is a vital organ. It needs nutrients. So if your brain is struggling and is stressed, what's going to happen? The body is naturally going to send those nutrients to the brain to help it, or your heart or your gut health, depending on what part of the body is under stress. And so when you're shedding or you're losing hair, that's where trichologists could do the detective work and figure out where that stress factor is coming. Is it coming from physical health, where your gut health is not working? Is it coming from your mental health, where you're struggling with your different chemical responses? Is it coming? It helps us pinpoint essentially where everything is happening. So, with the hair loss, that's why you want to trigger and figure out where everything is going, is because you're doing it to improve your health. You're doing it to improve everything. And a lot of times too, we as human nature, we do spiral out too. We have all that stress, and then your hair falls out, and you get more stress and causes more stress and causes more stress, and it starts to layer and layer and build up more and more. And that's why you want to stop it as early as you can to figure out where it's stemming from.
Yeah. And that's very, very important, to finally go to the root of what's causing it. Yesterday I had a new client, and she's a perfect example of the things that we were mentioning. She was experiencing like dry scalp, itching scalp in a particular area of the scalp on the vertex, right? And she mentioned to me that she was feeling like something was crawling into her scalp, but only in that section and only in that section. So she was worried about that. She was maybe having lice, but she was looking at it but didn't find any. So she bought a lice kit and started using that. Not only she uses one, but she used it 4 times in a row. Yeah. And what happens is that from that lice product, basically she burned her scalp and started developing basically a type of alopecia. And not only that, but over the next few weeks, that alopecia started to getting inflamed, and it became like a bulge, basically rising from the skin. And she went to a dermatologist, and she was suggesting the possibility that she had first dry skin, but has developed into something larger. And because of the irritation and inflammation, that they needed to calm that inflammation down, so they started using steroids, right? But as they started using steroids, it developed into a cyst. And then she had to go to another dermatologist to get that cyst drained. And she got surgery, she got the cyst removed, but now she still has hair loss in the area. So she came to me yesterday, right? And as I was seeing, it could all have been prevented if she were able to see someone before she started using products on her. And that's something that I want to make our people aware right now. If you're seeing something, if you feel something in your hair and your scalp, you might want to try something, gently, something gentle, before you try any chemical products or any medication on your scalp. So don't think about running to the store right now and grab minoxidil or grab a Eli's product, or grab a medicated shampoo, because there's a lot of medicated shampoos that are over the counter accessible. Like, for instance, the one that Kay was mentioning, but not mentioning by name right now. The number one selling shampoo for dandruff around the world. Yeah, you may know the brown, the H and the S. Yeah, everybody knows the shampoo, right? So the thing is that instead of grabbing something that aggressive, you might just want to consider the shampoo that you already have, or the conditioners that you're using, and consider, for instance, how frequently am I washing my hair? Do I need to wash it more frequently or not? So start thinking about the simplest things, instead of running to God knows what kitchen remedy to your scalp, because you could affect it to the point where you can develop a serious condition on your scalp. The lady that came up to me, she had a huge infection from it, and considered the effects that could have in her life. Is she even started antibiotics. She went to 2 complete rounds of antibiotics before she could get the cyst removed, right? So it was something that it could have gone very bad for her. And fortunately, she only has 2 small bold areas on the scalp, one where the incision was placed, and the other one that apparently some of the follicles became damaged into the process. But at least, she's getting her hair back in the area which was pretty large. She had a huge large alopecia areata caused by the inflammation and the infection that she developed. So, and I say this, this could happen to anyone, but I will feel very bad if it happened to you. So I don't want you to guys to go over that, and stop wasting time, stop wasting money, and go directly to someone who understands hair loss. Okay, you can just type in your Google, hair loss specialist, and you will see trichologists. You might see also dermatologists. Go to a doctor then. If you do not have a trichologist in your area, go to a dermatologist, go to your doctor, talk to them first. Have them look at your area, describe your symptoms, because that's another thing. Sometimes we go to a doctor and we need help, but we forget to properly describe what am I seeing, on how I'm feeling. And sometimes we believe that this is nothing, this is not related to that. And sometimes the biggest problem that we have as patients is that we don't give enough information to our doctors to work on.
Mhm.
And that's huge. I mean, every little detail counts, and every little detail gives us a scope of where do we need to look into the process so that we understand what's happening. So to the general public, please, do whatever you can, and find a trichologist near you. But if you're watching right now, you just need to go to thehairwire.com, and you can get a consultation either with me, Carrie, or Bisan, and we will gladly help you into the process. Fortunately, right now we have clients in every continent in the world right now, and we're helping people all around the world. The thing is that we only care about getting you guys to the promised land, to stop whatever that's happening, to keep the hair that you have, if we're able to, and then to regrow it beautifully and get that hair to look beautiful again, to make that hair thick again, to make that hair healthy again, if it were healthy. So the thing is that you need to consider all of those situations, and consider, talk to someone who can actually understand what is happening. Unfortunately, a lot of people go crazy, and they start doing a lot of crazy things, and I mean, people mean well, but just because someone means well to you does not mean that they're doing the right thing for you or by you.
Yep.
So you need to see this for what it is. You need to go to the expert. But again, a lot of people, they feel frightened about the idea that they need to consult with someone about their hair loss, or about their hair issues, or their scalp issues. And incredibly enough, people feel frightened because hair is such a deep and personal space, even more so than sex. We are more open to talk about our sex life, to talk about our hair.
Yeah.
It's it's incredible. It's deeply intimate to talk about hair, and you won't believe, how intimate it may feel, and to talk about your hair and scalp needs feels like very intrusive sometimes.
Yeah.
And being open about it is the first thing. You need to let go about your inhibitions, because maybe you need help. You need help. Simple as that. And you need to let go sometimes, and you just open yourselves. This is what's happening to me. I need to talk to someone. And, that someone, it might be right in front of you right now. So all you have to do, guys, is, um, be prepared to just talk about what's happening. Want to kick in, join in, Carrie? I see you nodding.
No, yeah, it's just going in and talking about it, and even if you want to come in and just do like a video call with somebody, or just send and explain what's happening. A lot
Yeah.
of trichologists is doing the detective work, and you could kind of really pinpoint exactly what's going on. I have been, more than often, I have figured out what is going on without even my dermoscope, and I will still use my dermoscope to back it up and everything, but you could tell a lot by just looking or asking the questions, or understanding the patterns of what's been happening. So Yeah, and then we will use our tools to go deeper if there are those ones where we're like, huh, like, there are some that are a little bit more mysterious, but often than none, you could, just by asking the questions and finding the formal pattern, you have a really tall tale of what's going on and what to fix. So
Yeah, that's the beauty when you talk to a professional, someone who has been seasoned, who understands these situations, and they can really guide you, maybe without even having to look at you. And you may say, "Well, how can I do that?" Well, you know, when you're seasoned, when you're experienced in this business, I mean, I've been around for 27 years doing trichology, so I use many times my instrumentation just to corroborate and just to show off sometimes because I already know the answer to it, but I just want to make you understand, make you see. And sometimes I will use the scope just to show you because I already know what I need to do. But we do this sometimes because we want to let you into the process and understand what it's causing it. But
yeah.
to
And
tell
there are
you,
also too, like I am gonna say too, there have been situations too where I've had my tools and I found even the tools gave me the wrong information. I've even had even dermatologists give the wrong diagnosis of what was going on, and it was something
mhm,
completely different. But the reason I knew what it was is because I could sense it, you could smell it, you see it, it looks different. And sometimes there's things even that can even pick up, especially the smell of things. Commonly I see where I am is psoriasis, eczema, and seroderm constantly getting mixed up and mistreated all the time. And they
yeah.
all have a different look, different texture, they feel different, they smell different. So sometimes I do like to get that, ask those questions. And even if I'm not there in person, I could still ask the question, be like, hey, does it have a hue? Like, can you smell that hue? Some people can't smell it, some people can, but they might say it smells different and you know what you're looking for. We actually have another trichology peer that we know that we call, he's the hound, the hair
Yep.
hound, Mark Blake.
Mark Blake,
He
yeah.
likes to smell as well. He uses his hound's nose to get that, and you sometimes can't get that too. Sometimes you cannot get that sense of smell from some tools as well. So yeah, it's
When you're making a differential analysis, and you're trying to understand what is happening, because as you were mentioning, sometimes even our best professionals, they get things mixed up, and this is where education comes into play. When you have a professional who is updated, someone who is into the latest and understands the value of having the understanding the differences between one type of scalp situation to the other and how it may present in different levels, because sometimes, and I get this a lot, I see a lot of people with seborrheic dermatitis, for instance, and sometimes I get them so early that for many doctors, they feel like it ain't subderm. Like, the symptoms are there, just very mild. But if you're able to catch it that soon, my God, we can do something about it, maybe prevent it for forever developing into something huge. And the whole idea about going to someone is to finally get around the problem and finally get a solution. But you need to contact a trichologist. This is why you need a hair and scalp assessment. It's not something that you can just you know ask Google about it. And unfortunately, a lot of people do. And now with AI, they want to ask AI to do a scalp and hair assessment. You cannot get that on AI. You cannot get that through Google. Unfortunately, you may describe some of the symptoms, but maybe none of those things actually give you the right information, because you need someone to ask you what are the pertinent questions regarding to what you are seeing. I mean, for instance, if I'm seeing oiliness on the scalp, so I'm going to be asking questions around the things that could cause oiliness into the scalp. If I see dry scalp, I'm going to be asking questions ascertaining and pertaining to what? To dry scalp. And so the thing is that, you need to realize that the right professional understands what to look for into what you have.
yeah.
And, asking those right questions may well be the difference between keeping your hair and losing it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely, definitely something that we have to do. Now, what are some of the things that trichologists can do? Well, first of all, there are many tests, as Kerry was mentioning. There are many tools that we can use to do the detective work. First of all, we're going to be asking questions. We want to understand. We want to feel. We want to touch. We want to smell. Very important to use our senses. We will take pictures. We will use our tools, like, for instance, a trichoscope or dermatoscope. We might use a microscope. We may take hair samples and put it under microscope. We may use a epigenetic testing machine. We may use a pH level machine. We may use a sebum meter machine. We may use a
A black light.
a black light. Yes, we may use a UV light trichoscopy. We will use polarized light microscopy. Um, I mean, there's so many tools that we have in our war chest that we can use for any given situation, and we want to use them, to ascertain what's really happening. And from there is about developing a treatment plan that will finally move you from one place to the other. Now, this is one of the things that we were talking at the beginning. Unfortunately, a lot of people waste a lot of time, sensitive time, and spend huge amounts of money on nothing, and literally nothing. Yesterday, I had a kid, and I say a kid, because I'm older than him. Um, yeah, yeah, I'm just a kid. I'm just a kid. He's just a bit younger than me. That's all. Nothing about age. Nothing about age. All right, moving on. So this kid, he came to my house, right? And he was asking, because he was losing hair in certain regions on his scalp, and he was actually, asking, do I need to do PRP? Do I need to do mesotherapy, microneedling? And he was asking about these things because it is something that he has considered, right? He has been looking at pictures online. He has been doing his own assessment, doing his research, and those are the things that actually caught his attention, right? And as I was explaining to him, you may want to spend money on those things after you get your hair loss under control, because actually your shedding is still active. And while you have active shedding, PRP is only good, or it's going to be even better for you after you get the shedding under control, and after we do a nutritional loading into your blood, because unfortunately PRP depends on how rich in nutrient is your blood. Now, for instance, if we talk to our friend Kimberly, Kim, she can do something very special over there in Bauman, is that they will concentrate that PRP, the double centrifuge, or pull more blood, because they have a machine that can count the platelets after they spin it, right? And they will enrich that with stem cells. And they have a potent solution, that even though someone without the proper nutrition in the blood, they could get right results, right? But they're just one of the few places in the world that can actually do that.
Amazing.
Yeah. But unfortunately, when you go to someone to get PRP, you only get single centrifuge and they start injecting. That's it.
Yeah, without even checking. So you're just wasting. Drives me nuts.
And there's a lot of factors, that go into the process. So a lot of people spending thousands of dollars and not getting the results that they are expecting. Why? Because unfortunately, they didn't come to the right place, because unfortunately, they came to a money grab place. And if you go to someone who is just selling a product or a treatment, you're going to get exactly that. You're going to get a sales pitch, and they're going to be selling you on a treatment. But when you go to a trichologist, you're going to get answers, right? They're going to do a real assessment on you. They're not just going to be asking you a 5 minute question interview. A good trichologist will spend at least 30 good minutes on you, and sometimes even more. I like to take my time and do a complete hour on my consultation, and that's one of the details that you want to look into the process. Because someone who is there to tell you, They want to get you quick. They want to sell you quick. They don't want to spend time on you asking questions. All right. So that's one of the things that you can use to differentiate whether someone is actually there trying to help me or just trying to sell me something. The same thing goes with shampoos. I mean, you go to a hair salon. Oh, I'm having this issue in my hair. Oh, grab this shampoo. Why do you need to grab a shampoo right after I just ask, what's wrong with my hair? Instead, what it should have been happening is that I should get more questions. People need to hear more about me. People need to hear more information. And from that information, then they can make a recommendation. But I just ask, I have hair loss. Oh, here, use this.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
Ask the questions. You need those questions. Those questions are critical. Critical.
Simple as
You,
that.
yeah. You
I
need
mean,
those questions.
for us, it's a clear cut thing because it is what we do on daily basis. We do this constantly. It's not like, and for us, to me, I feel very bothered by it every time I hear someone that it just spends just 1 minute after and just give you recommendations, start buying products. That's not the way it goes. That's not the way it goes. You need to go through a full consultation. When you go to a consultation, first of all, for instance, whether with me, Carrie, or Bisan, you need to fill out a form. We will ask questions about those forms. How's your dieting going? How's your stomach feel after you eat this and that? How's your hormones doing? How's your menstrual cycle doing? How's your sleeping pattern doing? We will ask about your family. We will ask, what's causing you stress, and we will go into the process. How are you washing your hair? How often? How many minutes do you spend on a shampoo? How many minutes do you spend on a conditioner? What products are you using? How are you using those products? Which heat setting are you using for styling your hair? We're going to be going thoroughly through all of those things. What type of brush are you using? How many years have you using that brush? How are the bristles on that brush? Are they already bent out? Are they broken? Do you need to buy a new brush? I mean, we will go through all of those details, my friends.
What happened to you 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago? What's your diet like? How much water do you drink? What's your exercise routine like? We ask it all.
And that's the beauty of it. I mean, a true consultation will look like that. Will look like someone who truly wants to understand what's happening to me, what has happened to me over the last, I don't know, 365 days. So, someone like that is worth spending time and spending money on, because it is someone who truly is trying to understand what caused it, what's happened to me. And then we'll start using instruments on my scalp and on my hair to get a more in-depth reading. And from there, we will go to a treatment plan. Now, when we go to a treatment plan, it's not about selling, it's about doing the things that will support my process and are moving according to what are the needs. And you will see that in a real treatment plan, there are things that we're going to be doing today. There are things that we're going to be moving on to next in a few months or in a few weeks. We're not going to toss you with my God, 50 things to do at the same time. We're gonna be moving into phases, into steps, and moving forward to it as as you're able to. And if the treatment that you need, let's say that you have something very complicated, right, and you need a lot of work, um, we will try to tackle as many things as we can at once, yes. But at the same time, if you aren't able to manage those things all at the same time, let's say budget wise, let's say culture wise, or discipline wise, because we have a lot of people who say, you need to wash your hair daily. I'm only going to be doing it just twice a week. So work with that. So hey, I need to work around that because the client will not, uh, will not comply to a everyday treatment, even though they need it. So we will look around and see what are the different strategies that we can combine in order to get to a place where finally we're going to be moving. And sometimes I tell people, well, if this is the rhythm that you're able to work with, understand that I can give you results in X amount of time. But if we do it this way, we can shorten that time into this many weeks or this many months, you know, because it is designed like that.
Mhm.
So, and choosing the right professional is everything. It's everything when it comes to your hair. And talking about it, do something about it. Um, it is essential.
Yeah.
Stop googling and talk to someone, because unfortunately we fill our heads with many pieces of information and we start thinking, oh, I have this, oh, but I also have that, oh, but I also have this. I have people that come to my clinic and said, I have alopecia areata, androgenetic alopecia, telogenetic alopecia, and frontal fibrosing alopecia. Like, whoa, where did you get that information from? you know
Yeah.
and I'd be like, okay, let us step it back a little. Let's see what's really happening here. Let's do a right checkup and see what's going on you know do
Yeah.
you get to see people like that, Carrie, by any
I
chance?
do. I do often, or they tell me how things are. So I'm like, why are you here? Why are you here?
I have no idea. My wife sent me. I don't know why she sent me over there. Actually, I get a lot of husbands like that. I get a lot of husbands like that. Why are you here? I don't know. My wife just sent me.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
my mom sent me here. Uh, you really need to care about your hair. You need to, take responsibility about it, and do what you really need to do in order to move forward, my friends. And that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that. So, guys, first of all, look for a good trichologist, for a good professional. See their information, see their before and after pictures. Ask around about that person, whether someone has ever been treated by them, and what was their experience like. Look for reviews, and that way you will know whether you're stepping into the right place or not. And once you get there, talk to them, be open about what is happening to you, and see the methods that they are using to get to the right answers. Are they spending enough time on you? Are they using different tools to finally gather information? How thorough do you think that they are doing their job on you to get the right information? So those are the type of things that I would look into a consultation process with a professional. And if the consultation lasts only 5 minutes, I move on.
Yeah. 100%.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And I understand, I have many friends who are dermatologists, and their consultations is just a 5 minute consultation. And I get that. But when it comes to hair and hair loss, and scalp and hair situations, you need to spend more time on it. Definitely more time on it. All right.
Yeah.
Carrie, anything you want to add before we go?
No, just, well, don't jump to conclusions. It might be something that the simplest thing. And oftentimes we complicate things. So don't overcomplicate it. It could be just the most simplest thing,
Yes.
or maybe overreacting. And, it's, you know, do your due diligence.
That's the thing. Do your due diligence, my friends. We'll see you next week. God bless you all. And always remember, go to thehairwire.com and hit the like button, subscribe, comment, and share our videos. Go to our YouTube channel. Subscribe, my friends. See you later, guys. Bye bye.